these are the little things that count, and these are the little things that will go with you when you die. Money, fame, nothing will go, but these little thoughts, these little actions is what will take is what will go with you, basically. All I can say is grieve grief changes you, death changes you, uh, but love stays always and forever. Just don't ever wait to do anything you want to do for someone. Don't ever wait to say that sorry. Don't ever wait to say that I love you. Don't ever wait to say thank you. Hello everybody, Jai Shri Krishna. Kem cho? How are you all doing today? I hope you've been fantastic. How has your week been? What else do I normally say in my introduction? I don't know. Anyways, today I'm going to talk about a video that is going to be a bit heavy for me, and it's a hard video, but I thought that I need to share this with all of you. If I end up crying, please forgive me. Grief teaches you so many lessons, which are just not lessons that you will learn otherwise. So let's begin. 23 years ago, I lost my mother. I'm sure many of you probably know. Those who don't know now know. I was barely 10 years at the time, and when I lost her, there's a lot of course at that time I was too young to know what death is, but slowly when I got to learn and everything, I remember certain things which taught me a lesson, and the lesson is don't wait to love. Why and how did I learn that lesson? So basically, when she was unwell, she was in her last couple of months, she was mostly on bed, and every time she would call me just to spend time with me, and so as I was saying, she would call me just to spend time with her, right? And I always used to ignore her in the sense, because I was a child, merely 10, 11 years. You don't understand what death is. So when someone's telling you to spend time with them, you kind of want to push back and say, like, what are you doing? Because you don't understand the meaning of spending time with that person at that age, rather. Sorry. And of course she wanted to spend time with me. She wanted to give me all her love and everything, right? But at that time I learned, and then of course I didn't do everything she wanted at the time, or I didn't of course I had feelings for her, but as I said, because I didn't know the meaning of death, when she wanted to spend time with me, I wasn't there, right? So what was my takeaway from this? That you should not wait to love anyone. The mistake I made was that I loved her so much, I loved her dearly, and I still love her, but I just didn't do enough to show her, right, at that time. So, like as I was saying, the lessons that I learned from her death was, you should not wait to love, because don't assume you have all the time in this world to show and say to someone that you love them. You don't have the time. Trust me, you don't. It's a lesson I learned, and I still apply it in my life. Then now comes, let's talk about 2025. I lost my grandfather, my dad's dad. So after my mother passed away, I spent almost 6-7 years in India with my dad's parents and his brothers and their wives, and they're the ones who took care of me back in India. I'm very close to my grandparents. I'm very, very close to my dad's, especially my dad's parents, because I've grown up with them. And the lesson that I learned when he passed away was don't wait to say sorry and don't wait to say thank you.
પણ હું તમારામાં બે વસ્તુ જરૂરથી કહેવાઈશ. સોરી પહેલાં પહેલું, આ જીવનમાં મેં ક્યારે તમને કાંઈ દુઃખ પહોંચાડ્યું હોય એની માટે દિલથી સોરી, અને થેન્ક યુ. જે શિખામણ તમે અમને આપી અને જે શિખામણ તમે તમારા દીકરાઓને આપી, જે એ લોકોએ અમને આપી છે, તમારી શિખામણ આગળ રાખશું અને અમારા છોકરાઓને પણ આપશું.
I say thank you and sorry very often, but I think I still feel that I don't say it enough. And I don't mean saying thank you for the little things that, someone has helped you a bit and you say thank you. No. I mean like the bigger things, like thank you for, supporting me all these years. I don't think we say that enough. We end up taking people for granted. And I applied this learning today in my life. I don't want to get into the details, but I had a situation. I dealt with it the way my dad had kind of taught me, and I called up my father and I told him, thank you for teaching me whatever you did so I could deal with the situation today. So that was something else that I learned from my grandfather's death. Apart from that, 2025 has not been an easy year for me, as I already said that. The decision I took in April shaped the fact that I could go and say goodbye to my grandfather. I think God has his ways, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful to God with my folded hands that the way he took away my grandfather was literally so that in a time frame that my dad and I could catch a flight. It was on 25th July, 4 a.m. in the morning. I normally, for those of you who know me, I never keep my phone on silent. Maybe for these particular reasons, because my dad has always taught me also that never put your phone on silent at night, because at night is when people need others the most and you don't know who will need you. My father called me and his first words were, I'm flying to India, grandfather is not responding. And my husband normally is a very heavy sleeper, and he wouldn't wake up just generally. And that day when I shouted, what? And he literally woke up. We had 2 hours to catch the flight. And I thought I was prepared, because my grandmother kept telling me for the past 2 years that, your grandfather doesn't have time, he doesn't have time. And he has to go, his time is up. I always thought I was prepared better than when I was prepared when my mom passed away after all these years. But I wasn't. I remember going to the airport and actually just crying. My dad didn't say anything because, of course, I think in his head at that time he had to take care of me because I was all broken and shattered. That journey, that flight, was probably the longest flight of my entire life. There was there was a silence between my dad and I. There was no talking. And I remember my dad asking me that, isn't the flight time 5 hours, 15 minutes? And I said, no, it's 6 hours. That 10 minutes even made so much of difference. In the entire flight time, the only thing I was thinking about is how I'm going to say goodbye to him. I had planned everything out of how I wanted to say goodbye, and I did it exactly the way I wanted to. So when I reached home, the house was of course full of guests, and my grandfather was still in his room, just lying there without a life. I reached there, and my grandmother came in and she hugged me. After I hugged her, I just put my hand on my grandfather's head and gave him a kiss on the forehead, because that's just how I wanted to say goodbye. I held his hand, and the first time I put my hand on his head was as cold as ice. I forgot that when someone passes away, the body cools down. I felt I was touching ice. But today when I sit back and think, I don't have regrets, because the goodbye I couldn't tell my mother, because at that time I was too young to understand. I gave that goodbye to my grandfather. I was lucky enough in June. I don't know what happened in June when I went to India. I took small clips of him singing Hindi songs when the music was playing on TV. I don't know what told me to do that. Something in the back of my head just told me that he doesn't have so much time. I spent quality time with him at that time. Joked with him, because he had grown old. Sometimes he would forget things, and there was a time I called my husband and I asked my grandfather. I said, "Who is he?" Instead of saying my son-in-law, he said, "That is your husband." I don't think I can ever forget that. I still sometimes refer to my husband as, grandfather used to say, "You are my husband." Normally in ours, we're not allowed to go to the crematorium. But the minute we landed in India, I told my dad, I'm coming to the crematorium no matter what. And I made sure I went. But I cried. I cried a lot when I reached. But during the entire flight, I cried. The only reason was one. I knew I had siblings to take care of. They stayed with him 24/7. I knew they would be shattered. Being the eldest, I knew I had to take care of them as well. So I knew about all my siblings. I knew I also had to take care of my grandmother, who also I'm very close to. So I cried all that I could. the minute I reached the crematorium, I calmed down because I had my siblings to take care of. But can I tell you something, guys? That day, my siblings took care of me. They're all younger than me by almost 9 to 10 years. But they took care of me. They all took care of me very well, and I salute them for that. At that age, this is the first death they've seen in the house, technically. So, yeah, they took care of it very well. Another thing I want to share is that sometimes your safe spaces can change because of such situations. Another experience that happened with me, my wedding video, the day I got married, was my happy place, was my safe place. Whenever I would feel heavy, whenever I would feel sad, I would watch that video. But guess what? It also has my grandfather. Since the day he passed away, I haven't had the strength to watch my wedding video. I don't know when I will. I know I will someday, but not now. I tried to watch it once, and I cried a lot. So, what once was a video that gave me joy is now a video that not only has joy but also has, I can't say sorrow, but a heavy feeling to it. Another tough thing that happened during that phase was I had to leave my husband behind. He couldn't travel with me as much as he really wanted to. I remember that night when I got the call, I told my husband I want to go. Not even a minute, not did he not even hesitate for a second to tell me go. He knew he was going to be all by himself for the next 15-20 days. But this is what partners are for. This is what marriage is all about. Supporting each other, being there. He couldn't be there with me physically, but he was there with me emotionally. He was there with me when I had to make the toughest decision and I had to choose my family over him. And not for once did he hesitate to tell me go. That is just amazing. So, I think death teaches us so much, especially when it's a death in the family. We both, my husband and I both lost a grandparent who we grew up with. He lost his grandmother late last year. I lost my grandfather early last year. "2025 was a year of loss for us, but we cherish their lives, I guess, and that's what you're supposed to do. Just cherish the memories that you have. Pray that they're in a better place. Hope that they're in a better place. And I always believe that God needed them more than, He needed us. There's another lesson that I learned, that time doesn't really heal these kind of wounds. It just teaches you how to live with it. And you could have different emotions on different days. There are days I could be happy when I, remember things he said, and I watch videos that I took of him and remember, stories about him. But then there are days when I miss him, because I know when I go back to India, he won't be there. So there are different emotions on each day, you know, but all I can say is grief, grief changes you, death changes you, but love stays always and forever. Just don't ever wait to do anything you want to do for someone. Don't ever wait to say that sorry. Don't ever wait to say that I love you. Don't ever wait to say thank you. You know, these are the little things that count, and these are the little things that will go with you when you die. Money, fame, nothing will go. But these little thoughts, these little actions is what will is what will go with you, basically. You know, and if you've done something good to someone, they will remember it for their lives. When probably they will die, they will, you know, in their final moments, they will remember about it and say, oh, you know, this person had apologized, had said thank you for something very little. So there's no harm. It doesn't cost you anything to say sorry, to say thank you, and to say I love you. It just doesn't cost you anything. So my takeaway from this is don't wait, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know, forget about tomorrow, you don't know what's going to happen the next minute. So if you think you want to say sorry to someone right now, pick up the call, say sorry. If you think you want to say I love you, pick up the call, say I love you. If you think you want to say thank you for something, someone did something small for you, pick up the phone, say thank you. No work, you know, the much I feel you appreciate, especially thank you and sorry, the much you appreciate someone for the littlest things. For some people that matters a lot. Like for me personally, that matters a lot. Like for me, more than gifts, I would rather, you know, somebody appreciates me, somebody apologizes when they think they are wrong, when they've done wrong to me, you know, and when somebody just expresses their feelings to me. For me, that is the biggest gift I can ask for. So this video was just about that. Another experience, another lesson that I've learned. So